What's up, guys? What's going on? I'm Paul. This is Pauline Theology's daily devotional, man, and we're going through the book of John. Last episode, we talked about Joseph of Arimathea, and now we're going to talk about Nicodemus. And we've heard of Nicodemus before, and so we're going to see how God has been working in his life through this gospel. If you haven't read it yet, go ahead and stop the tape, check it out, see what it's got to say. It is John chapter 19, verse 39 and 40. If you have read it, man, let's wait no further. Let's dive deep into the scriptures, man. What's going on? That's the first question we always ask, is what's happening in the scriptures? Well, we've seen Joseph and how he has demonstrated his faith by boldly going before Pilate and asking for the body of Jesus. Well, he's got a partner with him, man. It's not just him. It's another person that we've seen previously, Nicodemus. And we've seen him twice, and this is the third time we've seen him. So let's take a recap on who Nicodemus is. So Nicodemus first was what we've seen as a ruling elite. He is one who is smart. He is one who is religious. He is one who has money, and he goes to Jesus earlier in around chapter 3, and he kind of challenges Jesus. He kind of tries to test Jesus out, and obviously Jesus passed the test and flips it on Nicodemus. He was like, you're supposed to know these things about the Spirit, but you don't. You're supposed to understand these things because you're a teacher, but you don't. And then later on we see that this is probably, playing a role in his mind, because at first he went to try and prove differently from who Jesus is. And now as he hears the words of Jesus, then he begins to move closer to a better understanding of him. He even stands up, I guess, in a way for Jesus when they say that they want to put this guy to death. And Nicodemus says, shouldn't we listen to what he has to say before we try and condemn him? So the Spirit is moving in Nicodemus' heart. And now we see that it has gone even further, because John specifically shows, as we read this, it says Nicodemus, it says the one who comes to him at night. It specifically talks about, because we see and know that when John talks about night, he's talking about sin and darkness. And so that's what is representative of Nicodemus at the time when he first met Jesus. But now he is boldly going with Joseph to pick up the body of Jesus. Now, it didn't say he went to pick him up. That wasn't the sign that shows his faith. But the sign that shows his faith is what he brings to the party. See, Nicodemus, he brings these spices, right? These things to help make the body smell good, because it be stinking. Remember Lazarus, it says, if you read in the King James, it says, his body stinketh. But they bring spices in order to keep that pungent smell from happening. It says that's the custom that they do. And so what he does, though, he brings 100 pounds. So I think in our pounds, it's like 67, 70, something like that pounds. But it's a lot. And think about Mary and what she had. And it was like 1 pound, 1 year's worth of labor, of wages, and pours it out and breaks it out and puts it at the feet of Jesus. Well, this is 100 pounds. Now, it's Mary obviously ain't rich, and we know Nicodemus is rich, but still, 100 pounds is what Nicodemus brings to embalm Jesus. Or not embalm, I'm sorry, to bury Jesus. So this says two things. First off, it shows his heart and his desire and his understanding of the worth of Jesus. That's first off what it does. It's proving his faith. And remember we talked about that in the last episode, that it is not he's not doing something to show it, but it is being tested, and it has been made evident that he has a faith in the Son. And then secondly, I think what it shows is it demonstrates the kingship of Jesus. I've been reading in these books, these commentaries and stuff, and it talks about the commonness between the burials of kings and then what Nicodemus is doing here. So these spices, it's immaculate, it's wonderful, it's huge, it's excessive, but not for a king. This is what it would be like for a king. But we know that Jesus is lowly and was poor, and he was of no stately manner. But Nicodemus bringing these things is demonstrating in his mind that he knows that Jesus is the king. And John has been saying these things about the scriptures too, as well as through, I believe, the words of who was it? Oh man, I can't think of who said it. But in about the second chapter, he says that he is the King of Israel. And so we are seeing the connection here, is that as Jesus lives his life and dies his death, that people are recognizing the kingship, that he is the Son of God. He is the Son of God. So what is this saying about God? First off, that Jesus is king. Jesus is king. That's what it's saying. Jesus is king. He is king over everything. The King of Kings. There is none higher than Jesus. Though we may look at him in the flesh and see him as lowly and humble, that he was born of no stately manner, that's what it talks about in Isaiah, we know that he is the king. And he is the king by right, because he is the Son of God, but also by effort, because he has given his life for the world. He has given his life for us, and he deserves our worship, because he is rightly king by right, but also by action. And he is not a king just sitting on the throne because he is, though that should be enough. But he gave his life for us as well. What's this say about mankind? Is the boldness that we need to, or more like the worthiness that we should see in who Jesus is. That we should recognize his kingship and give all to him. And secondly, I think it says that, man, we are never done. We are never done. That every person has a chance for redemption. All that we need to do is bring them to Jesus. All we need to do is show them Jesus. So how do we apply these truths to our lives? Well, first off, I think that recognizing that Jesus is king, we should humble ourselves before him. Recognizing that Jesus is king, we should humble ourselves before him and follow him. Man. Do what Nicodemus does. Follow him. And then not only recognizing it, but worshiping and praising him. I guess not only, but it is most important for us to recognize him, see him, and know him as the king. And then next is, man, don't give up. If you follow God, if you serve God, and you see God working in your life and the lives of others, don't give up on the ones whom we think won't make it, who we think will not turn to God. Don't give up. Look at Nicodemus. Look at Nicodemus. He tried to go against Jesus, tried to square up with Jesus, and now he is praising him or honoring him as the king. So don't give up on people, man. Don't give up. Hey, I appreciate you guys for listening, and I will see you in the next episode.